What's up? It's Brian Soscia. We are live at Olympia for the Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship booth with the craziest wildest. This is it. Let's start the show.
And he's got hard with that left hand on the turn and down. Danny, the Bastard, Christie. Jared, Captain Deadpool.
What's going on? It's Brian Soscia. We are all the way live from Satellite 5. Excited to be back here with you again. Always a lot of stuff to talk about coming off the big Mr. Olympia card, BKFC 53, off the Thailand card, off the tryouts. So a lot, like I said, to get to. Matter of fact, a guy that knows a lot about that because he was there the whole time, Chris Lights Out Lidle. He's going to be stopping by today with a Lidle look back at BKFC 53, BKFC Thailand, and our tryouts that happened over the weekend. I don't know how this guy's still breathing, how he's still alive after doing all that, but Chris Lidle's going to check in today. Also, what happened to the Crystal Pittman-Jordan Rosslyn fight? What happened with that? It's upside down. We're in turmoil here. BKFC Women's Director Jules, she's going to join us to explain, and you know what? I got to tell you, Brandon, she's pissed off. I talked to her last night. I don't know what she's going to say, but I feel like it's going to be interesting. She's pretty upset about this. Jules that has been scorned, that's upset, will probably be pretty entertaining.
Yes, absolutely.
I
don't know who has heard the story or of what's going on with that, but it's it's pretty disappointing. So yeah. I understand her frustration.
22 pounds overweight Jordan Rosslyn was, and I'm going to let Jules tell that story about how that came about and everything like that. That's coming up today. Very disappointing.
That's why the graphic is upside down. This is not a broke it Brandon situation. It's upside down because the fight was upside down.
He's making sure everyone understands. No, that's like when they hang stuff upside down when we're in turmoil. That's why we're doing it. I get it. That was actually a great thought to do that by you. Very creative. Who's this guy? Oh, he's goofy looking. That's because we have exclusive footage from BKFC at the Olympia Expo and BKFC 53. There I am on the Olympia stage, probably getting laughed at by the crowd. But yeah, they really treated us well there. So it was good to be at the Olympia, and it was good to be hanging out there. Also, some new show dates have been released. We're going to talk about them and let you know more about that soon. Plus, there's so much more. But the first thing we want to do is we would like to get into the mail. So let's do that now. It's time for...
Don't make me come over there and snatch you up off that couch. It's time for mail call.
You were on top of that today. Up there. No. See, I'm complimenting you.
Never mind. I hit it again.
I love it. Well, we always like to look at the mailbag. Of course, you can see it down there, thebareknuckleshow@gmail.com. Send in whatever you have. We love hearing from you. And I'm having some kind of issue today with this chat, so I can't really hear from you. I'm about to freaking...
Yo, dude, you're going to break something.
I think I just put
this is on you if anything goes down.
I did put a dent in the table. I should stop. I'm going to get in trouble.
Jesus
Look at what a wimp I am. I'm going to get in trouble. I should stop. Well, I can't get my chat working. So if you're saying stuff, hey, you're awesome. But the next best way you can get in touch with us is thebareknuckleshow@gmail.com. You can see the graphic if you're watching. If you're listening, again, it's thebareknuckleshow@gmail.com. If you're listening and you can't spell it, I'm not going to do that for you. You're just stupid. Go back to school. thebareknuckleshow@gmail.com. Send in whatever you have. We like to see photos. We often post them on the wall behind us. We like to see any kind of videos you have. Anything you have. Even if you think it's something interesting we should be talking about, you can send it in. And I love when people send stuff in, especially when people like the champ send stuff in. That's right. Lorenzo the Juggernaut Hunt. He sent this in. I thought it should be looked at. And let's throw it up there. It's Lorenzo Hunt. I'm going to let you guess what it is. I'm going to show it to you. What is this? It's all, look, he's got all the different podcasts on there, bare knuckle stickers. Do you know what that is? If I didn't tell you, Brandon?
Yeah, it's a mailbox.
That's the champ's mailbox at his house. He sent this in. He wanted to show all his BKFC support. So there it is, the champ's mailbox at the house. We appreciate putting the new Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship sticker on there. The postman is going to run away when they see it. But we're excited. Nobody's that's like almost like an alarm system. You don't need one of those things that's protected by ADT. It's just, you put Bare Knuckle up there. If they know Lorenzo lives there, they ain't coming in. It's that simple. Let's see. Fans. Oh, this is another great thing we got. The fans seem to be super excited for this thing we've been talking about. It's Taylor Starling versus Jenny Savage in Salt Lake City. I haven't seen the official announcement yet, but it seems like it's going to happen. I mean, Jenny seems to be hinting at it, and we can see that through these videos. Let's check out the first video. All right, there we go. So as you can see, there's a
little vulgar song.
I didn't hear anything. Keep moving. I thought that was on mute. Oh, you know why? Because in the original thing I sent you, which you didn't see, I said maybe we should mute this because it's a whole big inside thing. But the point is, you see the fight they've had before. You can see they've gone at it before. Jenny Savage, she was victorious in that fight. In talking with Taylor Starling about this fight that could be coming, Taylor is basically saying that was then, this is now. This is bare knuckle. I am above you in bare knuckle. There's no chance you're beating me in bare knuckle. So that's kind of, I mean, I'm kind of in a nutshell saying what Taylor had said when I'd spoken to her. But that's where she's at. She's like, let's go. Let's do this thing. But Jenny has her own way of promoting this fight. I think it's pretty interesting. Check out this, what Jenny also posted. Jenny Savage ahead of the Taylor Starling fight that apparently is going to be happening in Salt Lake City. We'll keep you updated.
You ain't scared of bees.
Yo, I would be out of there, dude.
Yeah.
You ain't scared of bees.
What?
Dude, she's the beekeeper. She's saying she's the beekeeper. She ain't scared of bees. I thought the same thing, Brandon, when I watched that. Like, she's standing there all calm. My thing would have gone like this. Would be like, when you the beekeeper? You ain't scared of bees. Like, that's like the one time I held the alligator with the gator wrestler guy that always watches in where the heck were we? Denver? I think it was Denver. Yeah. In Denver. The picture, I look so tough, like I'm going to bite the alligator. I was petrified. That's how I'd be for the bee thing. I'd be out of there too. I mean, I stepped on a bee's nest one time and I got stung like 14 times. I was running through the woods. When I was younger, it was like My Girl all over again. All right, let's see what else we have. So we're excited for that fight. Hopefully that comes about. We find out more. We've been talking about it. We're going to keep you updated for that fight. But I think that's going to be a fun fight. I'm looking forward to that. Whether it's in Salt Lake City or wherever it takes place, it's going to be great. There it is, the first bucked up burp. I don't know if you heard that of the day. Evan Zentar, he's back at him doing the bucked up burp. How you doing, Evan?
Great.
Great. I'm glad you're great. So let's talk about Olympia. What a great showing we had. Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship this year in Orlando, Florida. The 59th Mr. Olympia Expo, Fitness Expo. It's always a good time, always packed. It was no different this year. We had a lot of fun stuff going on at the booth. Matter of fact, I never claimed to be the toughest guy in the world. You often hear me say that I'm not. But we did have a punch machine at the booth. And the whole idea was we'd have fighters punch it, then people would come up and try to beat the fighter's score. So before the expo started, when we were messing around, I was with Chris Lidle, and we were just trying to see what his high score would be, and then he was trying to get me to punch it. This is what it looked like.
You never sent me that.
Okay. Well, there you go. Are you sure? I thought I sent to you this morning.
Negative.
This is insane. That's because, you know why this is? And let me tell you why this is happening right now. If you're watching this live, you should know. We should be transparent. It's because people come down with their little grimy fingers into our studio that we should just lock the door, and they sign us out of things, and they mess things up, and then we can't get into them. So we have to restructure a whole show before we go on the air simply because people can't keep their hands to themselves. You learn that in first grade. If it's not yours, don't touch it, right? Am I right, Broken Brandon?
Yeah.
Am I being a little calmer?
You could send it to me and I'll pull it up. But in the meantime, I got this to show you.
Well, is this the Jared Warren?
No. Well, we'll get to that next. But let's take a look at this.
You're
really
gonna make me
fast.
look dumb. I know it. What are you gonna do? Oh, this.
He encroaches. I just go. That hurt.
I think I broke my hand. I just got hit by the toughest guy in the world. I think my finger's broken, but it's okay. It's broken by the juggernaut. Will you autograph that finger later?
Yeah, that's the truth, man. I thought that, I'll tell you what, I didn't get hit that hard, obviously, but I felt from him hitting my finger, I felt his power. And I love that if you look, I said something in his ear. I was checking to see if he was okay. Come on. Lorenzo the Juggernaut, he's going to be just fine. See, he didn't know I was there, and he ended up knocking the mic out of my hand and punching me. And my first thought was, the power that man has, if he hit me in the face, that was only in the finger, like in the hand. And it didn't feel great. You know, it's fine now. But when it happened, I just thought, man, to get hit in the face and just get smashed. Well, look, we were talking about the machine, and the machine, I mean, we'll look for my punch. We'll air that later. I don't know. I can't look for it while I'm working. I can't even do two things at once. I can't chew gum and walk. So we'll show my punch a little later and we'll show what we were doing messing around. But what we can show is the whole point of this was we ended up having the machine be broken. And the machine was broken by the guy that's also broken people's faces before. Jared Captain Deadpool Warren, he stepped up to get his number up on the machine to try to beat Lidle during the expo, and he hit it so hard he broke the machine. So there you go, Captain Deadpool. But we were able to fix it and get it back up and running. And yeah, I don't think it even registered what he got because he just smashed it so hard and broke it. I think we had that too on the expo. It said like, you know, Chris Lidle 845. Luis Palomino 810, and it said like everyone else is Mike Perry like 810, and then it said Jared Warren broke the machine. So there we go, Jared Warren breaking faces and breaking the machine. What else do we have going on at Olympia? A lot of other stuff that you didn't get to see. A lot of other like behind the scenes content. For instance, this was interesting. Maybe you saw this on Instagram, but I want to replay it because Mike Perry's out of his mind, and that's why we love him. Mike Perry decided to just start taking punches to the stomach and punching somebody else in the stomach. Let's watch.
Mr. Olympia, strongest man in the world. We're going to do a strong man contest. Body shots. Let's go. Give me.
That's why I love Mike Perry. He's insane. That was great. Like, who else does that kind of stuff? The other thing, Mike Perry was a big draw. There were a lot of people getting autographs, meeting him. It was fun. It was a lot of fun to meet the fans and have them kind of see their reaction when they met people. And Mike Perry was involved in a lot of stuff this weekend. Matter of fact, another thing I was able to catch, I grabbed my phone out of my pocket and started filming as soon as it started going on. But Perry and Palomino kind of crossed paths a couple times. And you know Palomino's been looking for that fight or looking for the Eddie fight. He wants a super fight. He's been saying it. So they talked about who might be the backup for the Alvarez fight. And this is what they were doing at the booth when people weren't around. They were kind of just going back and forth.
Maybe I was a pussy. I don't know. Charles, I was talking about Eddie Alvarez. I know you've been on him. So Eddie Alvarez is a pussy. I don't think he's coming, so it might take. That's what I don't think. I don't think pussy-ass Eddie Alvarez is showing up to this fight. He's not fighting this man, so I'll be the replacement. I'll be ready. So he's going to be the replacement if Eddie doesn't show up? I'll be ready. 175, baby. Go weight cut him. Mike, you good with that, Mike? Go weight cut Mike. Yeah, easy work. You know, I'm fighting lightweights, man.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of that was going on. That was early. That was like right when the expo started. But I don't know if they show this on TV or not, but I saw them face off again outside of the ring at the actual show. So, I mean, these guys, it got more intense as the week went. So maybe that's a fight we're going to see. But see, Luis is smart. He's saying, I'm here to fight you, Perry. But then he still talks trash on Alvarez, trying to keep that fight alive. I see what he's doing. Smart businessman. Excited to see Palomino come back whenever that may be. Who knows what the fight's going to be, but they were going back and forth. I thought we should spotlight that because that's something you didn't get to see a lot of. Another thing going on at the Olympia with Perry. Perry was like the hot topic. Everybody wants that fight with Perry. They're looking past the Alvarez fight. They're trying to get their own fights. After the Redneck won his fight, you may have seen this in the broadcast, and I don't know how much of it they show, but I want to look at it really quick. He's calling out Perry, and this is what happened.
Or not? You're a bitch.
Listen, this is BKFC. It's supposed to be a watch your back. It's supposed to be, you know, fighters doing what they do, right? We all want to be the best. That's what I'm here to prove. Mike Perry's the only one. They keep going to give me bums. They might as well give me a famous one, baby. What's up? I just want to fight. I just want to keep proving that I'm the best. That's what I'm here to do.
Redneck is like, he's dialed in, but he's almost like done with it. He's frustrated, it seems. He wants these fights. I mean, I get it. They
have fought twice already.
Yeah, I mean, he wants it bare knuckle for BKFC. So that's the only thing he's going to keep complaining about till he gets it.
Is that why you think Perry's not interested?
I don't know. You know, Perry, you couldn't really hear it here, but in a clip I saw, Perry was saying, Perry's like, Yeah, if they tell me to fight you, I'll fight you. Yeah. And do you want it? He's no. I think he said no. But the thing is, I think Perry, and no knock on Redneck, because I'm a big fan of him too, he's looking for those big super fights. In his mind, it should be. I mean, it's a championship bout, but I guess maybe he feels it's not a super fight. But what I like about Redneck and even Luis, they're not taking no for an answer. They're going to keep knocking that door down until they get what they want. So it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. If nothing else, we just get to kind of follow along and just be part of the ride. So I don't know why he doesn't want to fight him. I know bare knuckles different than any other discipline you would see. So it's definitely going to be different than before, but we'll see. It's a fight I want to see. I want to see the Palomino one too. I mean, I'm excited for all this stuff. Another person that was excited at Olympia and was great when he was there, as always, Champ, Lorenzo the Juggernaut Hunt was in the house, and he did a lot of stuff. I mean, he was meeting everybody, signing autographs. You'll see in this piece we're about to show you, he also did a little bit of a fight seminar. Let's just look at what Lorenzo the Juggernaut Hunt was up to at Olympia and check him out.
And then I'm going to adjust your form a little bit, and then I want you to hit it again. Let's see what happens. Same punch. Don't leave your feet. Same punch. Here, I'm going to fix you. Straight. Turn your knee down hard as you can.
Did he sit? What?
He did it for fun.
Just for fun? But you're the champ in grappling. Now, grappling and boxing is different. This is bare knuckle boxing. Would you wrestle a guy that had doo-doo all over his body? What you gonna do? That's all you know. So you gotta grab him and get all stinky. But if you can box, you don't have to grab him. You can just put him to sleep with one hand. Which hand would you put him to sleep with? Show me how. How would you put him to sleep? Hit me. Hit me.
Don't be scared, boy.
No, you got me. If you can get it, get it. Get it. Get it. Get it. Get it. You eat too much. You've been eating too much. Boom. Boom, boom. There you go. Boom. 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 It's a weird game. Hit me if you can. Same for jigs. As soon as you go to the ground, his buddy's gonna step on you. With boxing, simple boxing, I want to stay safe, stay mobile, not let anyone behind me attack, defeat him. Watch him, hit him, hit him, hit him. Boom! You can't throw multiple attackers, and you can't run. You need to be able to run if it goes south. Maintain your mobility and your balance.
Maintain your mobility and your balance. That's great words. I learn a lot every time I hear Lorenzo talk. I mean, you didn't even see all of it, but the way he kind of motivates you to get through, he's a great motivator, and the way that he shows people that know nothing, little tips and techniques, it's always exciting. So it was great. He was awesome there, as always, Lorenzo the Juggernaut Hunt. Like I said, it was a great time there. Matter of fact, a lot of celebrities hanging out, fans of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. It's always neat to kind of, listen to that, we're looking at the 50s. It's always cool to kind of see who's into what we're doing. I can tell you this, from my old realm, professional wrestling, Diamond Dallas Page, DDP, was there. He had met with Dave Feldman and said what a fan of the product he is and that we're doing big things. That was great. Also, Rob Van Dam, RVD, was there. A lot of bodybuilders. I don't know all of their names because I'm not really into that community, but I do know that you saw the strongest man in the world was there. I don't remember his name, but he was super nice. He stopped by. He's a fan. It's just cool to meet these people. A lot of other types of influencers there too, walking around, coming up to the booth. You're meeting people. I met one guy that said he's been a fan since the app was $2.99 a month. That's an OG fan. So it's cool to actually speak bare knuckle with people that know what they're talking about and meet the fans there. And we did a great job with that. Also, by the way, returning was one of our ring card girls, Danny XO, Harley Cameron, who now works for AEW. It's another wrestling thing. She's doing very well for herself. It was great to have her stop by at the fights. We saw the whole NXT roster essentially was there. There was a lot of local media, local influencers. It was seriously the place to be. I mean, the show was sold out. And the more I looked at it, I kind of looked around and I thought, wow, this is set up for like 1,800 people. It was a special show for the Olympia. We're probably never going to do a show that small again. I can't. I mean, Evan, can you think about when we'll ever do a show that small again for BKFC on the main card?
The next Olympia?
Yeah, probably. If we do want the next, that might be it, because you're not seeing this anymore. As we grow, I just thought what a cool experience it would be if you were at that show and you're a super fan, and there were a lot of super fans there to see it in that intimate atmosphere, because you're not going to see much of that anymore. Got Chris Lights Out Lidle coming on now. We have a lot to talk about with Chris Lidle because, well, I mean, the guy's been through everything with us. He's always there, and he can kind of shed some light on it. Chris Lights Out Lidle, let's bring him in from the virtual green room. There he is in his red room. What's up, Chris? Big smile. How you doing?
Oh, just happy to be here, Brian. Excited for what we got going on. Had a lot of fighting this last weekend, man.
Yeah, we did. I didn't get to play it yet, but a lot of fun. I know you held the record on the punch machine. You were just knocking the punch machine left and right. Oh, we have it now. They finally have it. So if you remember, you had wanted me to try to break your record, and I didn't think there's any shot at doing that. But let's see if I could break your record. Let's check it out. Here it is. Ready? See the cut man laughing. I love it. I love it that Phil cut that at just the right time. But I was impressed with that. That was good. I mean, that wasn't a bad punch. I almost hit you. I would never do that because you'd lay me out. I mean, what did you think of that punch? I got a pretty good rating there. A punch meter.
Absolutely, man. I mean, just being part of BKFC this long, you learn how to punch better, I think. I don't know.
I could take a good punch, probably better than I can give one. We'll figure that out.
Probably me too, I think.
So I think the Expo, I look forward to the Olympia. It's the second year we've been there. It's always a lot of fun. You get to meet the fans, as I was saying, and you did a lot of that. You were there signing autographs. You were there with the punch machine, hanging out. What did you think of the Olympia Expo before we get to the card? I mean, you seemed to enjoy yourself.
Man, that's my realm right there. Just a bunch of weirdos who are into working out and fitness, and just a bunch of lunatics, man. It's a good time if you're into that type of thing. So, yeah, just me being an athlete my whole life, I've always been around fitness, working out, protein shakes and just all, energy drinks. I feel pretty comfortable there, and those are people I can understand and identify with, so I enjoy it.
Yeah, the peaks and the freaks. I could smell the testosterone in the air. It was all around us. I think you might have gained a couple inches in your arms just being a part of it. What's that like, though? Because I know you're there to sign autographs and hang out and meet people, and I know the man you are, so you don't really think you're Chris Lidle. You're just Chris Lidle. It's not like you walk around with an ego. But I noticed a lot of people would see you there at the booth. They'd be like, "Oh my God, Chris Lidle's here!" And and they'd run up to you. That's got to be a cool feeling. You've worked so hard for that. Now you have all these people following you and talking about your career with you. It's got to be a lot of fun.
Man, you just got to appreciate anybody who's actually, a fan of watching what you do and like what you do. So it's humbling in many ways. Like, man, you came over here to see me. It's I don't know. I wouldn't say. It does make you feel good, but at the same time, it's very humbling.
Yeah, I'm sure. It's awesome. So we had a good time at the Expo. We had a good time before the Expo messing around with the punch machine. But BKFC 53, the actual card, a couple things I want to get into here. I actually made some notes. One, if you start with the first fight on the prelims, Jafar Fort, man. Jafar Fort Knox. What a great name. TKO round 1, 28 seconds. There's a great article. We'll talk about that later on BKFC.com about Jafar. What a way to start the show with fireworks, man. It was boom, that quick. I think the people that have never seen bare knuckle were like, Well,
and Fort, he's becoming a real prospect. I mean, he's 3-0 now, I believe. He looks phenomenal, just fast, athletic. I didn't realize how good of an athlete this guy was. He's like, high-level college football player, NFL caliber. He's an athlete, and that's just where this sport is turning. You're going to get a lot of good high-level athletes. They're so fast and so hard with punching. It's just like that's what it takes. You're going to be hit and don't get hit, and he does it very well.
Yeah, he sure does. That was a great way to open the fights. And I mean, there's a lot of other great stuff in there, but as we glaze through it, I mean, I'll bring some stuff up, and then you tell me if I'm missing anything, things that you might want to talk about. But I want to talk about Chancey Wilson. TKO, he loses round 3. And what I thought was interesting about Chancey, I've said this to him and about him many times. The Nico Hernandez fight, I always go back to that. This is an Olympian. Chancey, I think, was on track to win that fight before throwing up in the corner round 4, and then they had to call the fight. They kind of save him from himself. This happened again with Chancey. Chancey's a warrior. If you notice, he got that pop, and he's bleeding, and he's on knocked out. He's basically on Queer Street, and he stands up, and he throws his hands up like this. He still wants to go, even though he's woozy. I mean, the guy's still ready to fight, which I love that. But then the ref, because, the ref calls it, and that's it. That's in the fight, because we have these great refs here. You're going to see it. We're showing it right now. But I think that speaks to the professionalism of the referees and the doctors here, kind of saving Chancey from himself yet again. Here it is.
And that's what we need here. I mean, the doctors and the referees are obviously phenomenal. It's all about fighter safety, but if you're going to fight here 4, 5, 6 times, you have to be a fighter, like Chancey. You have to be willing to get hit, get knocked down, and get back up, and if you're willing to do that, you're going to find a home here. And if not, I mean, if you're one of these guys who gets hit like I'm done, they're not going to have you back. I mean, we want people with that fighting spirit, and that's all we get. But I mean, that Aguero, man, talk about a debut. That guy, we've had a lot of boxing guys come over and hasn't really translated. This guy did. I mean, he looked right away comfortable with the range, pace, distance. This he's special talent, man. I mean, his hands were so good. He was so elusive. I mean, Wilson, he was doing everything good. He just it wasn't great. It wasn't good enough to beat Aguero. Aguero, he's going to put it. We got somebody right now we can build some stuff off, because that guy is a special talent.
He's somebody to watch, and I agree. Like we were talking about Nico earlier, when he came, he's a boxing Olympian. I don't think he fully prepared for bare knuckle. It's a different ball game. We say it time and time again. It's not some people might call it bare knuckle boxing. It's not. It's bare knuckle fighting. It's a different ball game. It truly is. Also,
I talk about that all the time, Brian. I say if you think this is boxing with no gloves, you're gonna lose. Yeah. You got to come in here and treat it different.
Yeah, it's so true. I mean, we've seen it time and time again, and it's like, how many more times are we going to see it? So maybe this is one of the first boxers that came over that is starting to see it, and maybe the next one that comes over we'll see more of this, which I hope. I hope they're figuring it out. The other thing I want to talk about is Crystal Pittman not fighting on the card. Crystal Pittman was scheduled to fight on the card. I know a lot of fans love her. Pittman did not fight because her opponent came in at 22 pounds over. We're going to be speaking to Jules Gray, who leads up the female division, a little later today to get more insight on that. The only insight I can give it, and I'm not a professional fighter, I wonder how you feel. I think, though, it's insulting to the company. I think it's insulting to the person you're fighting. I think it's insulting to the fans. 22 pounds? It's not like it's 2-3 pounds. It's 22 pounds. To me, that's someone who's either scared to fight or didn't want to fight. I don't know the situation, but you're a fighter. You speak on that. How would you feel if somebody came in 22 pounds over if you trained to fight?
Yeah, that'd be – I mean, we'd probably get in a fight, I don't know, outside, because, I don't know – That's a complete lack of respect for everything. I mean, I'm sure she's not going to fight for us anymore. I would hope. And we've had people miss weight by quite a bit, and I've had to speak at some of the weigh-ins afterwards. Just let people know there's not a lot of stuff you can control when it comes to fighting. You can't control the judges, you can't control the refs, you can't control what your opponent does. You can control how hard you train and your weight cut. That's it. That's the only thing you can really have control of. And if you can't do that, I don't want you here in our organization. This is an organization for professional fighters. You come in that much overweight, slapping everybody's face. But I mean, Crystal Pittman, she went out and tried to gain weight to make this fight happen. I think she gained over 10 pounds.
Yep.
To make this fight happen. That's the type of dedication she has. That's unbelievable. I got down to 130 and I'm going to go up to 145 or whatever she went up to try and make this fight happen. Unreal, man. You got to respect that. But I love the fact that Dave Feldman was like, nope, I'm not rewarding any behavior like this. If you're overweight, you're like that, you're not fighting for us.
Yeah, and it's unsafe too at that point. And I think that, like I said, we'll talk more about that with Jules Gray later, who's coming on. I spoke to her briefly last night. She's pissed. I've never seen her like this. I'm afraid what she's even going to say. Have your finger on the dump button in there. It's going to be nuts. So we'll talk more about that in a little while later with Jules Gray, who leads up the female division, and get her thoughts. She kind of has the whole story. She's going to tell us how it went down. Let's see what else. Oh, Julian Lane, Murat Kazgan. That was a fight that I was looking forward to. And I know the entire region of Turkey was looking for. They were really behind him. It was great how much they loved him. Julian ends up winning via TKO round 3. What are your thoughts on that fight? I know Julian's spoken about it a little bit online, but what did you feel about that fight?
I mean, to be honest with you, it's a setback for Kazgan, but it was a step forward. I mean, when you watch the fight, he was doing fantastic. Julian Lane's got like 14 bare knuckle fights. Kazgan was his second, number 2, and he's looking great. I mean, he's out there set to win. Just learn that one lesson about all it takes is one little punch. You got to be perfect in this sport. Sometimes he got caught with a punch and got cut open. So I have a problem saying, hey, you got cut open, so it's a loss. It is a loss, but he'll learn from it. He'll be better. He'll be back. I mean, he showed me a lot in that. I mean, I thought Julian Lane might be a problem with that experience. It wasn't. I mean, Kazgan was looking great. One more fight I got to bring up was that Nathan Rivera.
Yeah.
And man, he was a brand new young guy, and he was like, I loved his whole attitude there. And he's like, Chris, I'm coming to take over this division. I hear that all the time. Like, all right. And as soon as he landed like this great body punch knockout, he jumped out the ring and came and told me, I told you I was going to make a statement. I was like, this guy's for real, man. So I look forward to seeing him fight again.
Yeah, and there was, I agree that I look forward to that as well. And there's other stuff. I mean, hold on one second. I'm sorry. I'm actually, Jules Gray is upset. She's texting me now. She's fired up to get on here in a little bit. Wow. All right.
I know. She looked at me and goes, Chris, I got catfish. And she started showing me these pictures of
well, I can't wait to hear the story.
Much more closer to weight. So I was like, I get it, man, whatever.
All right. Well, that's what I'm sorry. It was my eye was off the ball. She texted me. I'm like, oh, Jules is upset. She's like, I sure am. I'm like, oh gosh, she's watching too. All right. So the other thing I want to talk about, we got a couple more things to get through with you. The redneck, Doug Coltrane. Doug Coltrane was upset going in. He thought nobody was giving him a shot. He said this was his big shot. He prepared very hard for it. It didn't go his way. Dave Mundell, of course, retains the title TKO round 2. Congrats to Dave. I mean, that fight, I don't have a ton to talk about with it. I think it was more, we kind of showed it earlier in the show, the aftermath of the fight where he's calling out Perry. Everything's going insane. But Dave is, and we'll talk about this later too, BKFC.com. They're talking about, there's a great article on him, and he mentions that he is one of the top, if not the top fighter in the world. He's proven that time and time again. He's beating people over and over. I don't think he's even in the pound-for-pound rankings. Where are you at with Dave Mundell? I mean, what's next for him?
Man, I've said for a while, Dave Mundell, to me, he controls the range and fights where he wants to, probably better than anybody in BKFC. I mean, every fight, it doesn't matter if they have a reach advantage. He does. I mean, when they try to get close, he hits him with his jab. He'll hit him with that straight 2 left and the body. I mean, he's just really good and creative. And when you decide when and where the fight happens, you're winning. And he does that every time. The thing that's really impressed me about his last 2 fights is he has shown he doesn't have to just sit there and control the range. And he came out there and came after people. And when he comes after people, it's a problem. I mean, like you said, against Mike Richmond, he got knocked down. He's like, all right, he came and just put it on Mike Richmond after that. Same thing here. Coltrane, like, had him cut under the eye. Okay, that's it. I'm taking you out. And when he decides he's taking you out, that's what he's done. So that's impressive. I always say to be great at this sport, not only be a good hammer and nail, but you have to have an A plan, a B plan, a C plan. And by that, I mean you have to, when you need to, you have to be able to get rough and dirty and go out there and just turn it into a dogfight. We hadn't had to see him do that much, but when we have had to see him do it, Mundell can do it, and he does it very well. So he's going to be tough to beat no matter what. I mean, like I said, you've got A, B, C plan, and he can do them all well. I don't know what you do about a guy like that, man. Try and cut him open? I don't know. Try and do it, with Julian Lane one, with Kazgan, you got to go there and hurt him and hit him with a punch and cut him. Maybe I don't know. He's a tough guy to deal with.
Yeah, he's like a Rubik's Cube. He's hard to figure out, man. But once you hopefully can figure, I don't know. When you figure him out, that could change things, like you said, with all the A, B, C, D plans. My A, B, C, D plan, if I was a fighter, would be just call Chris Lidle, have him do the work for me. That's me. Dave's fine on his own. Let's talk really quickly about BKFC Thailand 5. I know you did that. You were running all around. You commentated that. What was your favorite fight on that card? Was something that kind of stuck out to you on that card?
Man, Chin Yang versus a guy is hard name to pronounce. I think it's Yo. I mean, man, I think the guy was from the Philippines versus the guy from Thailand. That Yo guy, that guy. I mean, man, he took a beating. That guy, it was so. I mean, usually I would say this isn't a sport. You can't trade punches. This dude would walk forward, and do this after he get hit. Come on.
He didn't
And I mean, I was like, dude, how does he keep doing it? Like, he was getting wrecked, right? I remember you saw Tenyo's hand, you know, and it was bleeding. And it had to be from his knuckle bleeding because the other guy's face wouldn't even bleed. I'm like, what does he do to, like, does he put some kind of special cream on there? Does he toughen his skin? How does he do it? Because he wasn't bleeding bad. And I was like, dude, you're getting hit with so many hard shots and you're walking, you're like, that's it? That's all you got?
Is that hold on, Chris? Is that
fighting a guy like,
that's what I was going to ask you. I've never been there, but that's got to be frustrating if you're punching and you're not seeing anything happening.
Man, I had a fight like that in a boxing match with a guy, Papa Moore. I mean, this dude, I hit him with everything I had, and he would just shake it off and keep coming forward. And it ruined my confidence for a couple of days afterwards. Like, I couldn't knock this guy. I didn't know what to do. Every time I hit somebody like that, I'd knock him out. This guy walked through it. It has to feel like that. But this is bare knuckle. How do you not cut the guy open? I just didn't understand what was going on. He's got tough skin. That was a phenomenal fight, man. I mean, those guys went at it for 5 rounds. Oh, I loved it.
I know. When you get excited for a fight, I know it's a great fight because it takes a little bit to excite you. So it's great that you were able to check that out. That's what you liked. And then the other thing you ended up doing, I think the day after that, they kept you on the road. You were doing the tryouts. Where were you guys at for tryouts this time?
Atlanta, Georgia, baby. I mean, we're going to Georgia here soon. It's legalized there now. So, I mean, we went there and we had some really good talent. I think I want to do a prospect series there as soon as possible because we have some really good fighters over there. Like I said, it was funny. We were at the gym of Nathan Rivera, so he was there, kind of watching. We had a lot of good. Joe Elmore was there helping out. You know, we had just a couple other one of some of our fighters. A Samples was there. Jay Jackson. You
got top-notch fighters there for that tryout. Including you, top-notch fighters there to help. And I always say with these tryouts, even if you don't get picked, you have to learn something from a Chris Lidle, a Joe Elmore, a Jay Jackson, all these top-notch fighters there. You're guaranteed to learn something at least. I think that's important.
Well, we were trying to do like a tryout, but like a seminar at the same time. So we were going over stuff, teaching people. I was like, you guys are going to be in the sport. You need to learn this type of stuff. And you're not learning it at most gyms because most gyms don't have a bare knuckle part to it. Yeah. You know what I mean? So we're trying to teach as we go because I want people coming in and not just fighting, but doing well and competing. It's amazing how you're seeing guys after 1 or 2 fights or one level, then you get into 4 or 5 fights, all of a sudden that experience level goes way up and they really understand it and they train at it for a couple of years. Man, they get better.
Well, you can watch the tryouts on the app. It's really cool as we see Chris travel town to town, state to state. BKFC.com, grab that app. Salt Lake City, Utah tryouts are up there right now. We're looking forward to see Atlanta GA tryouts. Atlanta GA. That's dream.
I got Canada coming up this weekend, my man. I'm out of town again. We're going to Canada.
Hey, it's good. I know tryouts in Canada. You can find out more about them. BKFC.com. They're all up there. Chris lights out Lidle. He's on the road. I don't know how he gets any sleep. He's just go, but he spent the time with us, and we appreciate that, Chris. Always good to hear from you, man.
My man, can't wait to see you guys again. We're going to have a good one coming up. Can't wait for it.
I know we do. I just got My Man by Chris Lidle. I don't know if that's good or bad. I got a My Man, but I'll take it. That's the man.
Fucking man.
There you go. You're the best, Chris. Thanks for stopping in. All right. Chris Lidle, everybody. We got to get to Jules Gray. I think she may be waiting. I don't know. I'm waiting to hear, but she's pissed. She's really, I'm not laughing at her, but she's upset. And I want to give her a couple minutes to talk about the situation with Jay Nasty coming in 22 pounds overweight with Crystal Pittman. It's disgusting to me, and Chris Lidle's disgusting to him. Jules, I'm sure it's disgusting to her. Is Jules on the line? Do we have her? She literally just texted me. She said she was going to call in. Let's see what she's saying. I'm here, she says, 1 minute ago. What do you have? I can't hear you. Talk to me.
You know this already. You do this every time. I have to stop one Zoom.
Oh, I do know. Why do you yell? Why do you always yell at me?
I'm not yelling. I'm just.
You get angry so easy. Jules Gray coming on. Excited to see her. As we're waiting for Jules Gray, I don't want this to be like a throwaway. I just want you to know why they have me between these two guys that are going to draw a huge crowd in Salt Lake City. They are not going to be on the show today, Mike Perry and Eddie Alvarez. It's that the press conference is coming up this Thursday, and we're going to talk more about that later, what that's going to look like, who's going to be there, the time, if you're in Salt Lake City, where you can go check it out. We just wanted to kind of plug the press conference because it's a really big deal. Tickets are moving pretty well, so if you need to get tickets still, bkfc.com, you can grab them. That card is top notch, and Salt Lake City is a fight town. I've been talking to some people there. There it is, the press conference, and they're very excited for it. Again, we'll talk about this again later. Remind you, Mike Perry going to be there. Eddie Alvarez going to be there. Also going to be featuring Ben Rothwell and Todd Duffy. BKFC 56 press conference. That's this Thursday, 2 p.m. local time, which is Mountain Time in Salt Lake City, open to the public. You can also watch it live, bkfc.com. It'll be on the app. It looks like it's going to be up on YouTube too. I don't know if it'll be on Instagram, but you can check out Instagram anyway. You should follow us. That'll be at the Maverick Center. It's going to be fun. I know they have some stuff planned. Don't quote me on all this stuff, but it's some of the stuff they're working on. You have the press conference, which is obviously the main thing, but they're talking about having some food trucks there, provide some lunch for you, like a small, for lack of a better term, tailgate in the parking lot with some the big bucked up bus is going to be there handing out bucked up energy, free merch. It's going to be also a BKFC 56 ticket giveaway. It's a happening, a lot more. Plus, a cool thing is, we haven't talked about this yet, but through Bucked Up, we're going to be releasing a new pre-workout drink flavor. They're going to have the revealing of that there, too, and it involves Bucked Up and Bare Knuckle kind of teaming up together, so we're pretty excited about that. I know, Evan, you've taken some of their pre-workout, and it's amazing, right?
Yeah, I think that announcement was for them to make and not
it's all right. And I made it, so it is. Now you go see it.
It's
on the flyer. It's on the flyer. That's why I said it.
I think it just says new pre-workout.
Well, then it might have something. What do I know? It might have something to do with us. It might not. Hopefully it does. They can make that announcement when they want. I would assume it does. Why would they just be releasing a workout flavor?
I don't know. Jules is here.
All right, let's get out of this segment before I mush it up anymore. Jules is here. She looks happy. She seemed angry. Jules, a lot to talk about. We have a couple minutes to do it. I'm glad you're here. I know you've been lording over the women's division. You're signing new talent nonstop. Thanks for taking the time. I want to talk about this Crystal Pittman, Jay Nasty stuff. I know you're not happy about it, and I know she came in 22 pounds overweight, but I kind of want to let people know what happened because it's an interesting story, quite frankly. So let's start from the beginning. You signed Jay Nasty, and you want this Crystal Pittman fight to happen. You think it's going to be a good fight. And how does it go from there? Was she even close to weight when you signed her? Tell us about it.
You know, the thing with Jordan is that she had been really adamant about wanting to fight for BKFC for quite a while. And I went out on a limb and I decided that, you know, we were going to give her that opportunity. I thought she would make a great matchup with Crystal Pittman. And you're completely correct in the fact of when you say I'm angry about this. It's such a huge disrespect for her to show up the way that she did and her to not take this opportunity seriously when David Feldman himself opens up the platform for women to advance their careers and gives everybody such a huge opportunity to change their lives. And she steps in there and she just doesn't take it seriously at all. All these other athletes, these women who are trying to advance their careers and make a statement across combat sports, put in all the work and the sacrifice and the dedication. And she just acted like it meant nothing to her. That's, you know, something that I feel is unacceptable. But great. as far as you were saying, you know, she, when she began her weight with us, you know, she told me she was somewhere near 20 pounds overweight as far as to sign the contract. That's typical of an athlete, of a female that we see, you know, 20 pounds over a fight camp is not a whole lot for women to cut and make their, you know, weight that they signed for. So, whenever she showed up, well, to be a little bit more transparent, you know, we do weight checks all the way up until the day of fights to make sure that our athletes are, one, making weight, and two, doing it in a healthy manner. As soon as we did our 7-day weight check, I did receive a video from Jordan that said she was 7.2 pounds from the contracted weight, which was 135 pounds.
Oh, Jesus!
That is a very normal weight to be at 7 days out. I know our regulatory staff, everybody, they check that. And as you can see in that video, she is nowhere near 7 pounds away from 135.
No. That was alarming to me when I saw her go take the stage. I got text messages from people saying, "Is this the correct weight class? Is something wrong?" So yeah, she wasn't close to that. But when she came in and she'd sent you that video, right, showing that you're talking about, And then she
Right,
comes in.
7 days out. I got a video from her. It went to our regulatory staff as well. That stated she was 7.2 pounds. So the video does show the scale, and then it also shows, her face in it. So 7.2 pounds out, 7 days out for the fight is completely healthy, normal, ready to go athlete.
And Lidle mentioned that you were kind of catfished here. I don't know if it was a fake scale or a fake weight. He was talking about this right before you came on, how ridiculous all this was. And then she gets there, from what I understand, you just correct me if I'm wrong. She gets there and you say, like, come here, let's talk. What happened? She tells you, she basically gives you a bunch of BS. And then Pittman, and I learned this from Lidle a couple minutes ago, apparently wanted the fight to happen. So she's like, let's do this fight anyway. I'm going to gain some weight. That's how committed she was to get this fight off. And then when it goes to you're trying to save the fight, obviously, but then it just says, you know what, we're out. We're not doing this fight. That came from, I guess, Dave Feldman. Is that all correct, what I just told you? Does that make sense?
Yes, correct. Crystal Pittman at the end of the day was a complete professional athlete. She wanted to save the fight at all costs. Now, to give you just a little bit of how it works with us, had she contacted me and been transparent and honest with me and said, hey, look, I'm not making weight, I'm having difficulty, I'm struggling, she would have told me this 2 to 3 weeks out. We could have moved the contract, stopped Crystal from cutting weight, been able to see if they could re-agree at a higher weight, or if they just wanted to re-agree at a later date. There's so many things we could have done to save this, but the fact of the matter is, she wanted to be unprofessional. She didn't want this fight. She didn't care about this fight. She didn't respect the platform that David Feldman gave these women. And so at the end of the day, she suffers the consequences for that. And the consequences for that are that we have terminated her multi-fight contract.
Yes! Whoa!
So you're essentially... Okay, so we got it. So I think that makes sense. And I'm sorry you have to do that, Jules, but you're letting her go from the multi-fight deal. She's been released. She's been fired, as we just played the sound effect. And, I mean, look, that's not something you like to do, but it's something that has to be done because I think it was offensive what she did to all the fighters, to the fans, as I said earlier, to the company, everything, to you. So, Jules, we appreciate your transparency. That's a big thing we do with Bare Knuckle, and thank you for coming on. I mean, you're probably going to be receiving a call from Jay Nasty any moment now asking what the hell's going on, but you heard it here first. Breaking news. Jay Nasty, Jordan Roslin, no longer works for Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. Her multi-fight deal has been terminated. Jules Gray, thank you for coming on and setting the record straight and making stuff happen. Jules speaks, people listen. I like it.
Thanks, Brian. You have a wonderful day.
You too. Thank you, Jules. Well, there you go. I mean, that's gigantic. I didn't know. I knew she was mad. I didn't know how mad she was. I didn't know she was going to boot the girl live on the air here. Great job with the sound effect being ready. That was amazing. So that's it. She's gone. We're not tolerating that. I know from the top down, the whole company was upset about that. You heard Lidle. You heard me. Everybody's been talking about it. So no more of that. Thank you, Jules Gray. Let's get back to what we were talking about here. Got a couple loose ends to tie up before we get out of here. Starting with, this is interesting, the app. I always tell you to get the BKFC app, bkfc.com. You can grab the app. There's 2 great events coming up. If you were to buy it now, you're getting these 2 events for $7.99 a month. Bulgaria, the first one, that place, from what I'm hearing, is going to be absolutely packed. I heard they've sold already over 12,000 tickets, if that's correct. This is my little birdies chirping, telling me that, November 17th. That's going to be fun. I'll tell you what, man. Bulgaria, they love fighting. They know how to fight. I'm excited for that, November 17th. Then November 18th, you got the birthplace of Bare Knuckle, right? We're headed back to the UK, back to England. We're in Leeds this time. Danny Christie versus Jared Warren. That's a fight I'm really looking forward to on top. The whole card looks great, but the main thing here is that BKFC.com, if you don't grab that app now, you're going to miss out. Again, $7.99 a month. You get at least 2 fights if you buy it today. That's pretty incredible. I think we're going to try to get Jared Warren on. I'd like to have him on next week. We're going to try to have him on next week to talk more about his upcoming fight. Jared, always a great guy to talk to. We're looking forward to talking to Captain Deadpool. Other than that, I mean, we have some new events to announce as well. These events are big events, and they're coming up. First one, I don't know if you just came out, if you saw us yet. I believe it's in February. You can see more at bkfc.com. It's in Hollywood, Florida. Returning to Hollywood, Florida, February 2nd, Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino. It's all there, bkfc.com for more info. I don't think I've ever been to a fight that wasn't insane at the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino. So February 2nd, the new year, that'll be the first date we've announced. Also, we have another date. We're headed to Canada for the Prospect Series, March 2nd. That's Saturday, March 2nd, That's why we're doing those tryouts in Canada. Find some new Canadian talent. The first time We've been to Canada, so we're looking forward to that as well. BKFC.com. You can find out about the app and find out more about the Prospect Series, because I think that's, as we've said, a very important link into what we're doing here with Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. And then I want to talk about, we kind of mentioned this earlier, the recent articles. The recent articles, there are always great articles at BKFC.com. You saw the Jafar Fort one. He's 3-0 this year. 3-0, first year. 3-0. They're talking about it with that 28-second victory the other night. That's up. You can check that out at BKFC.com. Find out more about Fort Knox. Jafar Fort. That's an impressive first year. 3 fights, and good for him, man. So check that out. Also up there, and this is interesting to me, Dave Mundell. He's up there. They're talking about his claim as the most dangerous man in BKFC, which he could very well be. He's 8-1. I think this is interesting. He says in this article he truly believes he's pound for pound the best. Now, if you look at the pound for pound rankings on the website, bkfc.com, he's not even in there. I don't know why Alan Belcher's still in there. We really need to get those updated, the pound for pound ones, because I think Dave Mundell deserves a spot up there. A champion. He's got great competition he's run through. So I'm looking forward to see whenever they redo those pound for pounds where he ends up. But he definitely deserves a spot in my estimation on there. And I think you would say the same in the chat if I could see the damn thing. If it was working, we'll get this fixed. This is the budget they give me. I can't see what you're saying. So I appreciate you being here. I know the normal characters are probably here, and there's probably some other new people. So if I'm not shouting you out, I'm sorry, I can't see it. I would break the computer, but it's my own computer, and I don't want to do that. I thought about it earlier. Let's see what else we have to do. I know we skipped over some stuff to talk to Jules. I want to get that done before we get out of here. At least I think we did. Did we? No, we didn't. I'm all messed up in my segments. 1, 2. Am I missing anything here, Broke It, Brandon? 3, 4. No, I think I got all the segments in. 5. Oh, yeah, we talked about the press conference. I'll bring that up again. The press conference is this Thursday, bkfc.com. You can find out more. It's not just a press conference. It's going to be happening. It's going to be awesome. We're looking forward to seeing you there. It's probably the biggest thing at Salt Lake City in years as far as fighting. Bare knuckle fighting, legal in Salt Lake City. Here we come. Make sure you're tuned into that. The other thing I want to talk about, because we're going to get out of here in a minute, we talked about this a couple weeks ago, Brian Duran was working on his rap career and kind of restarting that. Brian Duran has put out a video. We have a very, it's not the best quality, but just kind of bear with us. You can see a piece of the video. And then after the video, what I'd like to do is let this video play us out. I just want to hear the music. I want to dance a little bit. So let's show some of Brian Duran's rap video. Yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Mug shots. There we go. Let's play it out. I'm not Brian Duran. Hey, listen. There's Brian Duran's rap video. Playing ping pong, hanging out, rapping. Thank you for joining us. We're going to get out of here. And so is Brian Duran. Until next week, hit the music, boys. The other music, thank you. Until next week, remember, we'll see you at the press conference this Thursday. Until then, get knucked up and bucked up. No, I screwed it up again. Get bucked up and knuckle up. Ah!